And we're live. It's Whiskey Watches and Wheels, and I am the Reverend Matt Green. Boys, introduce yourselves.
I'm Casey.
James.
I'm Kevin.
You guys, did I ever tell you guys that? True, legit story.
You're a Reverend?
10 years ago,
Oh
we're at a 4th of July party. 4th of July party. Kevin, look at it. So some friends of mine were talking about, some people were getting married. And I said, well, I can marry them. They're like, you can't marry somebody. I said, listen, I can guarantee you I can go online right now and get certified to fucking marry somebody. They're like, no, you can't. And literally on my fucking phone, I went on there, Universal Life Church. All right. For $29.95, I became a reverend for the Universal Life Church. I still have my certificate. I can marry anybody in any state.
This
fold it up in your wallet.
This completely makes sense.
Yes,
this completely makes sense.
So, I told them, it literally 15 minutes. They're like, no, I said, here's my certificate right here. I got the whole package in the mail and everything. So
that is so believable. I'm even checking it just for shits and gigs.
You can.
I guarantee that it's probably
Universal Life Church. It is. I'm not making this shit up. It is true.
There you go.
The Universal Life Church.
Godspeed, Matt. Godspead.
Yep. So let's see. The longer you guys know me, I'm like an onion, man.
The worse it gets.
Layers. You will learn all kinds of useless information.
A blooming onion, buddy.
Yeah.
He's like a donkey.
How was everyone's weekend?
Oh, great.
Yeah, I know yours was great.
Oh, yeah. Mine was better than Casey's. I'm going to.
Yes, it was. Well, we don't have an agenda tonight. We're literally going to just throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. But James had some fun though. He was out of town, and where'd you go? James?
So I went out to Vegas to see Dead & Company at the Sphere. So anybody that really knows me is I'm not a fan of Vegas. I really can't think of anything positive to say about it, except they have this cool ass Sphere to see some concerts, and that did not disappoint. But the city, it was 108 degrees. All right, 108. And that doesn't make for a lot of fun outside.
That's why you got to walk in all the tunnels in between all the places.
Yeah, no shit. And go out after dark.
That's right.
Yeah, you guys, you can travel. You don't even have to step outside. You can go from one end of Vegas to another just going through the hotels.
Yeah.
That sounds cool. Terribly exciting, Kevin. And I'm going to have to do that the next time I book my fantastic trip to Vegas.
Well, then you don't have to be in 108 degree heat.
Right.
Yeah.
No shit. Well, let me warn you too, because they put every fucking watch manufacturer in between that walk.
Sure. But it's a perpetual shopping mall, right? Yeah. So anyway.
For the most part, yeah.
So I took my daughter to go out to see Dead & Company at the Sphere.
Wait, I thought she took you. I thought this was her taking you.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, I wish. Maybe there's going to be a day where she can take me. But that hasn't happened. But we went out to the Sphere. Essentially, it was supposed to be the last weekend. Last shows of the run. Of course, they'll play until they can't sell any more tickets. So there's a bunch more shows after this. But I had planned to go out on just for the Saturday concert, a stop and pop in Vegas and get out. And in the end, we wound up going in a day early. We were going to go do some hiking, but at those temps, just no way. So I wound up getting tickets for the Friday show. I scalped those on StubHub, which was a fun experience. But essentially, it was pretty amazing. The first night we had general admission floor, so we were about 8 rows back, and the graphics were insane. If you get a chance to go, I highly recommend it. I don't know if I'd go see the Eagles there, but certainly I know that U2 was a hell of an experience.
Too bad Pink Floyd doesn't play. That would be badass.
Yeah, no shit. So, we were close. We were kind of right in front of John Mayer, and John Mayer, he's really come into his own with Dead & Company. He was on fire. Wow. It was pretty amazing. Can
you see what kind of watch he had on? Because he's a big watch collector.
Yeah, I took some photos of it, and I don't know what it was though. So,
dude, anyway, I love John Mayer stuff, man.
Yeah, this was the view backwards with the sphere. So all that stuff, that the gridded stuff up there that you see, that was really projected.
Wow.
It's just pretty wild stuff. And John Mayer, he makes these wonderful faces as he jams, so that's always a fun time. But it was cool. This was afterwards. We went up to the stage and turned around, and I shot a panoramic. So pretty amazing. The second night, Saturday evening, we were in the 300 section, which I believe this whole sphere is geared to the 300 section. So if you're going to go, hit the 300s. Fantastic. It seems like everything is right in front of you. They have the haptic seats, so they give you feedback. So during this drums in space, when you have these wild graphics going on, when they hit the drums, your whole seat vibrates. It was quite entertaining, and it was truly an experience. So when we were on the floor, it was a concert with some really cool graphics. When we were in the 300s, it was a full-on experience with music. It was completely
cool.
Night and day.
That's cool that you got two different experiences. I mean,
yeah. So that's why I wanted to do the floor.
Yeah.
Figuring this is supposed to be the last run, but this was our seat here that I'm showing everybody. It's kind of a panoramic. The sphere holds 18,000 people. So the first night we were 8 rows back from that stage that you see down there, which was pretty cool. But up here it was.
How
was
was
really
getting in and out?
We didn't have to go outside, so we bought the VB package. So you would stay at the Venetian, and you would just walk through the Venetian, through the conference center, right
Venetian's
into the sphere.
A great casino, though, isn't it? It's really pretty.
If you like those casino thingies.
No. I'm just talking about the painting and the architectural stuff inside, and the glass and stuff. That stuff's cool.
It's funny, you can take a gondola ride for $40 a person, and that was like 5 years ago, but it's $20 a person, and actually
it's
in Italy.
Yeah.
Here's the important question, real quick, James.
Yeah.
Did you run into any frat dudes with buckets of beer looking for a pool?
Oh, I ran into plenty of bros. I'll tell you that. Yeah, for sure. Like I told you, Vegas is not for me. But anyway, it was fantastic. Highly recommended. If you can get out there, do it. Don't hesitate. I know it's kind of expensive, but it is truly an experience. We had a blast. The only real thing we did that wasn't completely fake was go to the Arts District and do some shopping down there with some vintage shopping, which was really cool.
Did you take pictures of a whole bunch of neon signs? Where was that at?
Yeah. So we went to the Neon Museum, or the Neon Graveyard, and that is on the north side of the Strip, and highly
That's
recommended.
I believe the old side, right?
Yeah. So it's by Fremont.
Yeah.
But it was fantastic. So you have to book a time. So I booked sunset, so at 8:00, and so as my daughter and I were going through, she's a big photographer, so she was snapping away. She brought cameras and such.
Oh, like every young lady these days.
But what was super cool was it was at sunset. So as you were going through, you had that whole sunset thing, magic hour. But then the second time we went through, as it was getting darker, we were like, okay, let's go through without taking all these photos. But as you went through again, all the lighting had changed and it was completely different, dramatic look to it. So we went shooting all over again. So I probably have more photos of these neon signs than I do of these 2 dead shows.
Any of their signs that are there?
No, it's a museum. So they preserve these signs, they fix them, they get them running. Some don't run, but it is literally the vintage Vegas. Everything that was cool about Vegas. I mean, for me, I would be more interested in the 50s Vegas than the family friendly big hotel, fake Paris, fake New York, fake Venice experience that it's become. So not a fan. I have no problem with people who like to go there and enjoy it and gamble and all that. I'm not a gambler. I don't do any of that. So I went there for the Dead and Company, but they did it right. It was cool. Highly recommended. But I don't know if I'd go see the Eagles there, as they recently got busted for doing recorded music.
And
vocals.
worst band ever?
I haven't heard that. Did they really?
Yeah,
Wow.
so Don Henley, little rumors that, he's sounding a little bit too good. And then what they did is, there's always digital fingerprints, right? So they were comparing multiple nights, and they were the exact same digital fingerprints.
Wow.
As in, it was recorded.
That's
so
not
I don't
good.
know if they're denying it or not, but those ones and zeros don't really lie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and the unfortunate thing is we expect these old geezers to keep playing and sounding as good as ever. I mean, you look at Axl Rose, right?
Oof,
he didn't play for a long time, and now they're on this reunion kick. And there's no way that he can sound like he did before, right? The octaves that he used to hit are impossible for an old dude, or for most people in general, right?
Yeah.
And so, I have not been to a concert, but I heard he does the whole like mic up thing, get the crowd to help him. And that's the way you should do it, right? Like you don't fake it, or at least in my opinion, don't fake it. But, the Eagles, they are popular for probably one song. And it's
well, I'm going to disagree a little bit.
Well, you can be wrong.
Got more than one song, but
you could be wrong. I mean, they had definitely a string of hits beyond Hotel California.
But it's their music. It's fine, right? Like it's not that great. Like they're not that good.
No, but so just to go and watch Joe Walsh.
It's very just normal, mundane music. It's very kind of.
There's a documentary that I just watched with Bon Jovi, and it was the same thing. He didn't feel that if he could hit the notes, then he wasn't going to sing anymore. It was a pretty good show because he was trying everything holistically and lasers and all this stuff, and then he finally gave in and did the vocal cord. But he even said, someone my age, you cannot sing at those notes for that many time. For that long, it just, they get wore out. And I think he did his last tour because he's like, I want to give to the fans what they remember me by, and if I can't do it, then
and I think that's kind of a overall thing that maybe this happens around the world with everybody. Certainly here in America, we tend to want to hold on to all those things for way too long. We got basketball players that keep playing over their prime. You've got TV shows that go 3 seasons too long. Just quit while you're ahead. Like, be on top of your game. Maybe you come down the backside, and then somebody's got it. You got to have somebody who doesn't just say yes to you all the time, and you can have some humility and step away and stop.
But I think a lot of them hard to walk when you got the money.
It's hard to walk away. Yeah,
sure.
Sure. It's hard to walk away when people are tossing money.
And I think that's where it becomes on the artist to say, no, I'm going to quit. Yeah. I don't need the money. But a lot of times the artists, they do need the money because they're out buying extravagant houses, all this stuff. So they keep on doing it as long as they can.
Yeah, it's addicting, right? I mean,
the thing is with the Sphere so far, it's essentially been where bands go to die, right? It's all the last tours, right? U2, they go there, right? They're fading, right? Dead and Company,
Dion.
Right? You've got, Bob Weir in his mid-70s, right? He had tough time hitting those notes. He had to modify, but at least they had John Mayer who could sing, and O'Teal was singing.
Play
a little younger energy in there, but you got the Eagles coming in next. Who's going to be next? Billy Joel.
Hey, he still sounds great. I watched him in Orlando.
Billy Joel can't sing worth a shit.
I tell you what,
Elton John can't sing worth a shit.
Have you been to a
Their
Billy
voices
Joel
are
concert?
shot.
Have you been to one of his concerts? Have you been to one?
I'm saving my money.
No, it's actually, it was pretty damn good for his age.
It'll be Garth Brooks.
Oh, there you go. He needs a comeback, doesn't he?
I could definitely see that. But the the thing is it's not like you can just add a sphere to your tour and pop in, right? For 2 weeks. The planning that has to go into that for all those you can't just go in there and show the blue sky coming by, right? You have to have a whole program to create the experience, because
my guy could do that in a couple of days. What are you talking about?
That's true. That's true. So K-Dog is going to be playing at the Sphere.
Yeah, exactly.
I get Ron to do that shit. Give him a couple of days. He'll have all those graphics up.
Yeah. Well,
New kid
I
block,
hope.
baby.
I just
They're
hope.
back.
There you go.
Yeah, I just hope that there's some energy there, that maybe there's some younger artists that come in that aren't on their way out, right? But
that would be super cool to have somebody semi-popular that could put on something like that. That'd be exciting. That has some sort of catalog. That's
who would that be, Casey?
I'll tell you exactly who it would be. I'll tell you exactly who it is. Eminem.
Who?
Oh,
Eminem could rock the hell out of the Sphere, and he's guys that like rap like Eminem, but I mean he's poppy enough that everyone can enjoy an Eminem concert.
And he
could draw for a month, right? You can draw for a month.
No doubt.
Right?
No doubt.
You're right. Maybe it shouldn't be, what do they call them when they're just there for 6 months or a year or whatever?
Residency?
Yeah, residency.
Maybe it's just 3 weeks of shows, and you fucking sell it out every night for 3 weeks. You think, well, fuck. I mean, I think the obvious answer, you put Taylor Swift out there. What do you think she could charge for something like that?
Oh, shit. Yeah.
She could probably retire after 1 month out there.
I think she could retire already.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Right?
True.
But here's what's really interesting is, I got an email today, since I'm on the
list.
VB email list, right? About, hey, just announced, due to popular demand, the Eagles have added more shows.
Yeah, of course.
So I clicked on it and I went in there, and there's tickets for every show.
Wow.
So it's not like they're sold out.
No.
It's just this whole plan thing, right? To make it like
Marketing 101.
Yeah. It's the limited edition economy. We're only doing 6 shows. Better get your tickets. Oh, by the way, we just added 3 more months.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway,
right.
That's what I got for the Sphere.
Sphere,
thumbs up.
Vegas.
Exactly.
Be prepared. Couple days.
No shit.
Then you're dead, and you need to come home.
Kevin, what's new in your world, buddy? Anything new? Oh, he's thinking.
You got a watch?
Yes.
Come on.
No, he's not wearing it tonight.
Let's go.
No.
I don't have a watch.
I'm working
on a website for my wife. So
Okay.
I've been doing that, and
Rough.
her new little venture that she's gonna
Thinking about
dabble in.
The entrepreneurial spirit runs deep in the McCoon house.
That's it.
It
Always.
does not. Only me.
It starts and stops with Kevin. Is that what you're saying?
And hopefully my daughter. But no, she'll take over.
Savannah's got it. I can tell.
But I would say
learning the
entrepreneur
ropes.
would be somebody you start your own business. Now you take over a business. That's just managing a business.
Yeah, but she's getting the foundation. She's getting the foundation and the understanding. So at some point she's going to say, bye-bye, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides, why learn on her own? She can learn with your business. That way, if anything goes sideways, then she's set for her own business.
I better not go sideways, because that's my retirement. So
yeah.
I'm working on like 6 new shirts and for Asphalt Killers, and just, I don't know. It's kind of been one of those like weeks that's just been. So we're doing a new thing.
We have
Office.
A podcast that could use some merch.
Yeah.
Well, we got to have a lot of people listen and watch them to sell.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yep.
But we forgot about that part.
Exactly. Hey, dude,
just look at the numbers.
I thought of something for the 997 you need to make. We'll talk about offline. But
so I am not going to make anything for 997.
Well,
So
there's companies that will print for under a dozen, so we're good.
Yeah.
Under a dozen.
Yeah, I did
$49.95 a shirt.
I did that for my rally. I know.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think what else has been going on. Nothing. We've just been kind of plugging along. The economy's just been
sluggish.
Yeah.
It's
we're seeing a small uptick here in the last 2 weeks, which is nice. Whether it stays, I don't know, but it's a little bit of an uptick.
Speaking of that, I thought you had something interesting to tell us, a story. Did I?
Oh,
I remember
no, I
you
do.
saying story time.
Well, so I was in our West Palm Beach location
Yes.
Monday and Tuesday, and I was coming back last night. And it was typically I can get from Orlando, my house to West Palm in like 2 hours, 15 minutes. No big deal. Usually not a problem. Two issues right now in Florida. No, yes, there's two issues. One, it's Florida, so storms every afternoon. So that immediately adds an hour to the drive. And yesterday morning there was a wreck on 95. So coming back, listen, I'm old, so I got to piss. So I go to a gas station to take a whiz, and I pull in. And as soon as I pull in and I get out of the truck, I kind of look over, and I could already tell this couple, they were screaming and yelling at each other. He was what I can only describe as Cowboy Coolio. All right, you guys remember Coolio?
Nice.
Imagine Coolio with Wranglers, boots, and a cowboy hat. All right, his woman was kind of a BBW. She was a bigger gal. All right, you know what that means? Big, beautiful women. It's a category in porn. So anyway, don't ask me how I know.
Not familiar.
So anyway, listen, just saying. But and listen, for all the larger ladies out there, please know spandex is a privilege, not a right. So
and not
they're
in
yelling.
Skin color, not in skin tone.
I ignore. Go into the gas station. Obviously, they'd been doing it for a while as far as yelling at each other. Because when I came out of the bathroom, the cops were there.
Oh, nice.
And so they're she was driving the finest of 1991 Chrysler LeBaron convertibles. All right. So I'm not really sticking around, but as I walk out the door, I hear the guy goes, I don't know what's wrong with the bitch. I just bought her a brand new car. So obviously the LeBaron was brand new. All right. And then
was it wood panel?
Yeah. It was not wood panel, but it was literally like a faded teal. So
was this a K car version?
Yeah, exactly. So then I get a little further.
The LeBaron Maserati edition.
Right. Dude. And so I get a little further, and then I swear to God, the last thing I heard was him saying, "Listen, man, all I want to do is get out of here. I just want my Cool Ranch Doritos and my Skittles, and I'll be out." And that was the last thing I heard. So I don't know how it panned out, but it didn't seem to be going very well.
I would have stuck around
Coolio.
for that one.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It was a sketchy part of town. But yeah, that was my story coming back. Cowboy Coolio.
Nice.
So yeah, but well, we got some crazy news topics. Not really crazy topics, but I mean, there's some shit in the automotive news, and so we were just kind of bantering back and forth on our group chat, kind of what was going on. What do we want to talk about first? I printed everything out.
New watch.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about your new watch. That's right. Let's forget the news stuff. You got a new watch. Let's talk about it.
Let's go that way.
Oh, yeah. 2 weeks in a row here.
I love it.
Let's fucking go.
That's going to be it for a while. All
you
right?
always say that shit, and then 2 weeks later, you got another one.
Oh, I love this one. I've seen a couple of these for sale. I really like this one. The Sunburst is fucking hot.
Yeah, jump on it because she's a beaut.
No,
so this here is a Seiko. I'm sorry that it's another Seiko, but I like what I like, right?
Never apologize.
So, yeah, so it's an Advan perpetual calendar, JDM, from December of 72 with the sunburst dial. So it's got a little bit darker brown on the around the edges with the sunburst in the center. With
Can
a
you
dual
zoom in and
crown.
take that little white thing out of the middle? Is there any way to take that little white cross out of the?
That's on your screen.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, that's on your screen, Kev.
Okay.
It's got a dual crown day and date feature, and it's got the original bracelet just for K-Dog. So
I really like this. How does the perpetual calendar work? Because I can't read Japanese.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Okay,
I have no
good.
clue.
But it looks pretty.
I really don't.
Same page.
So yeah, I haven't dove into it just yet because I can't see it. This is the only time I can see it is when I blow it up.
Yeah.
Oh my, you are so fucking old. How do you buy watches and you can't even read it? Jesus Christ.
It's jewelry, man. But I love how the root beer on the outside kind of bleeds into the yellow. That's just hot.
Yeah.
I do like it. It's a really good looking watch. I think I probably saw this one for sale. And I need one. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen them pop up in a number of places. So maybe somebody opened up a drawer and found a dozen of them.
What kind of watches? What kind of guitar is that?
One that he probably can't read or play, for sure.
It's a Strat. I know nothing about guitars.
No, it's a Telecaster.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
So I'm not a Strat man. I'm a Tele man.
So I love Seikos. I love the Japanese. Does it come free with some, what is it? Roasted tire perfume? Oh,
it could if you wait long enough here.
Yeah. Casey, that was hilarious, man. That freaking article you threw up. Or was it me that threw it up about the Nissan with their perfume?
That was you.
Their cologne.
I want that because I love new tire smell.
Yeah, new tire cologne. I love
new tire smell. I would smell like that. And if I found one woman that enjoyed that, you better watch out.
Yeah, so
you like fresh tire?
So
what's up?
The news article: Nissan makes a perfume that smells like tires. It's called
a perfume or
Smell
cologne?
My Dust. Cologne called Smell My Dust.
Smell My Dust, but it also smells like cherry blossoms.
Yeah, so it smells like tires, but it also smells like cherry blossoms,
which is going to smell like rubber cherry blossoms.
Yeah. Wait, but cherry blossom, we have a lot of cherry blossoms around here. And
yes, you do.
I'm thinking
it's going to smell like a cherry flavored condom. That's what it's going to smell like.
That might be right.
As long as he doesn't know what it tastes like.
Dude, listen.
All right, that was funny. But like, you ever smell a Bradford pear? You know what they smell like?
Yeah.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Because that's a very distinct smell.
So here's the thing. I've been to DC when it's in full cherry blossom bloom, and it's cool. It's cool to be seen. But I love so it says it's a cooling fragrance that evokes a sensation of purity. And then it says it's described as an airy fragrance of earthy delights fused with the essence of vehicular parking lot antics.
Evoke is a trigger word for bullshit.
I freaking love
that.
Japanese,
sounds like
man.
AI wrote that shit.
The Japanese are great.
I would love it though, because I will buy this. Like if you send me a link to buy it, I will buy it. And my wife will hate me.
I'm going to do
more.
an AI graphic of Casey in the bathtub covered in cherry blossoms, smelling like tires.
I love fresh tire smell. And there's very few things. It's almost like buying new tennis shoes, right? When you first put on your new tennis shoes, that's a very good feeling. When you first take a drive on your new tires, there's very few feelings that are as good as that. I can name a couple, but that one is pretty damn good.
Yeah, because you're like, oh my God, my old tires were so fucking noisy. It's so quiet in here.
They were so loud.
Well, those new tires give you better feedback than a condom.
I like feedback.
Feedback's good.
Big fan of feedback.
Feedback is good.
Yeah.
But yes, if that news article hadn't come from like a legitimate source, I would have thought they were trolling us. But it's legit.
Or it was April 1st, right?
Yep, exactly. So one thing we talk about is the continued decline of the EV market.
I love your segue. So good.
Well, everyone's jumping ship.
You're getting better. You're getting better.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. One of these days I'll actually, I aspire to be a real podcast host one of these days. So we'll see.
You're a master.
Volkswagen invests $5 billion into Rivian. So that's something. There's a couple things. One, it makes sense because Volkswagen needs some extra EV technology. All right, so they're going to gain that.
I think it's a bit of a dichotomy because we know the Taycan battery stuff that architecture, right, is pretty fucking good. Mm-hmm. That's what the 800 volt system that's been showing, at least especially in the race series, to be pretty fucking strong.
Right.
The flip side is everything other than the Taycan in the Audi group has not done so well.
Right.
And Rivian, I just saw another article that I didn't send out, but I read that the Rivian has just recently discovered, I don't know what the right term is, manufactured, figured out how to really enhance their battery life. So maybe the marriage is right on time, and maybe perhaps the timing is such that they announce Rivian, their stock price jumped like 50%, so great for them. Volkswagen's down several percent this year, so perhaps the two announcements together they're hoping for a little jump, but Rivian obviously is needing help. They're losing, according to the article, $40,000 a vehicle, which is fucking insane.
Wow.
I don't understand how they can continue on for too much longer.
I don't get the economics here as far as the government doling out money and all these manufacturers losing their ass on these.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know what is Tesla making money yet? I don't know. But further articles that I sent out are talking about how the overall EV market is continuing to decline. Each manufacturer is quote unquote pulling out, sabotaging, getting out of EVs. And here you have a $5 billion investment. So I don't know.
Hey, just real quick, Casey, Tesla turned a profit in 2023, earning $15 billion in net income.
Okay. All right. So
that
they're obviously,
but there's a big but there. Its profits have been declining.
Right. Well, and again, think about that. 2023, the Model 3 came out, 21, 22? So, I mean, it wasn't until they started. When did the Model 3 come out?
I think it's older than that. That was their first mainstream model, was it not?
That's
2017.
17?
Came out 2017. Yeah.
It's their first affordable model. I mean, or sub $30,000 model.
Yeah.
And that's what none of these other manufacturers have. Fisker didn't have it. They folded. Lucid is on the verge of bankruptcy because again, everything they have is $120,000.
Well, it's very specialized, right? I mean, part of the reason Tesla's doing decently is because they did come out with that Model 3,
and
which
it's
can appeal
generic
to a
as
bigger,
fuck, right? Like everybody can find something in it. I have doctors that I work with who have a Tesla, and then you've got the poors out here that have Teslas as well because they're on the secondary market. They're Camry prices.
Yeah, so, but they were never sub. I know, Matt, you said sub $30,000. Those cars were never $30,000 new.
The Model 3?
No.
Okay.
No,
they were close to that. Though,
I don't shop them, so I don't know. But
after tax and when they did the tax incentive, they were in the 40s, still in the 40s. That's a $57,000 car.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, but I think the point stands that
$100,000.
Yeah, that is becoming Kevin, like a normal price, as ridiculous as it is. That is $60,000, $50,000.
Yeah, $43K base right now.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm sure very few go out the door at $43K.
But that's the thing too, is if you want to jump up to the Model 3 long range, you're talking at $56K.
Right.
Yeah.
Base price.
That's an expensive vehicle in my mind. I mean, $60,000 that's a lot of fucking money.
But like to everyone's point, you look at it here. So yeah, $43K brand new. Here, 2022 Tesla 3 long range, 7,000 miles, 35.5.
Yeah.
I mean, they plummet.
They're just plummeting.
Well, when it's the same thing, when it's the same toaster for the last 5 years, and the only thing is software upgrades, which I'm sure you can upgrade the older ones, then why would you buy a new one?
And you look at the other cars, like the Kia electric one, that's even taking even a bigger decline in secondary market. I mean, that was a $50,000 car, and now they're like in the teens, and they're not even a year old. It's terrible.
On one of the 997 forums I'm on, there was a couple-year-old Tesla that was going for $5,000. Now it had miles, and it had a replacement battery, but that's where it's coming to, right? And at the end of the day, if they're all the fucking same, all those
It'd be like a
interior
television.
pieces and stuff, you can replace all that stuff. All those other components, it's the same box as what you can go buy new. Why are you going to spend money on it?
Well, one thing that Tesla does well is, their cars are literal Legos. So it doesn't matter if it's the Cybertruck or the what is it? The Model S or the Model 3 or the Y. They have all the same steering wheels, all the same. The screen is the same in every one. The seats. I mean, so they're Legos.
But you can't buy. But you can't get spare parts for them, though. That's the problem.
No, of course not.
Right.
No.
Yeah, but so Casey, are you suggesting a Tesla life hack as far as find the one with the most miles, and you buy it for $8 to $12,000, and then throw a brand new battery in it, and then all of a sudden you got the same thing?
If I were in the market, that's exactly what I would do. Exactly what I do. All the interior stuff, you can fix that yourself, right? Or car people certainly could. I can change the suspension components if they're available, to Kevin's point. But the leather and stuff inside, which we know has had a little bit of problems and stuff, like you can have an upholstery shop do that to your liking, and then throw a new battery in it. So maybe you're $25,000 into it, and you now have a new long range battery or whatever, and it looks literally exactly the same as every fucking other one. I don't know. For car people, that's what we will end up doing if we make the leap into a EV purchase.
And that's what my neighbor did.
Project out of it.
One. My neighbor, not like in my house, but my neighbor at my business, he just bought one for $23,000 for his wife, and he just wrapped it. And it looks
there you go,
amazing.
Sweet.
He did like an orange metallic kind of color for his wife.
Did he put a grill on it?
No, but he did wrap the grill black. I mean, it looks really, really good.
Yeah.
Kevin and I are in Florida, so we have Florida men. They're not going to do that. They're going to buy the car for $7,000, throw an LS in it, and call it a day.
I'm down with that.
LS swap everything.
But I think continuing on to this point of the downfall, or what at least we call the downfall of the EV, Connecticut. This was from March, so perhaps I just saw this though. Connecticut is throwing out their EV transition law that they were trying to pass. Of course, we know, Connecticut is super left, which, fine, whatever. But they were trying to do the California, no ICE engines by 35, which I find very interesting, especially for a small, tiny state in New England. Because why wouldn't you just order it offline from, somewhere right outside and it's delivered to you same day? But they were trying to pass the same kind of California cafe standards. And even in, and I say even in because we know Connecticut is super left. They could not even get full Democrat support to move forward on that. And I find that the whole thing interesting simply because of the EV market, not the political side of it, but just the EV market and how we seemed 5 years ago that this was the only way forward. And here we are, 2024, and it ain't working.
Well, here's the thing. People vote with their wallets. So it has nothing to do with conservative, lefty, whatever you want to call it. It's, if you're saying we have to do it, people don't like to be told that they have to do anything. But on the other hand is, why do I want to spend money on something I don't even want? Right? I'll drive this fucking car until it's 25 years old.
And again, going back to what Kevin said, where you're saying entry level is 40 something, but every good one, quote unquote, is 50, close to $60,000. Honestly, though, like how many other cars that are good quality Japanese, which will hint at another article here, but Japanese hybrid or ICE engines that get 35, 40 miles to the gallon now, that can you buy for sub $60,000? And tell me how long it takes. A long time to go from 40,000 to 60 in gas. Like for most people, especially in a city that just commute, 10 miles or whatever to work, that takes a really long time to pay for.
Yeah,
it does.
Now for me, I spend that in a week. But
I think it boils back down to, like we've talked about before, infrastructure. If you think about it, 2035, 15, 18 years ago when they started, rolling out these rules and regulations, seemed like a long way away. We're fucking 10 years from that. The infrastructure is not going to get built in the next 10 years. It's not.
It is impossible. We will not have a full transition to these cars in over 50 years.
Yeah. I mean, it could be 2065. You're not going to have it.
The only way it can happen is if they literally pull the carpet out or the rug out from underneath all these manufacturers and just ban them straight out. Like, you cannot sell an ICE, period.
And no,
that's not going to happen.
I can name 30 states that won't do that and that would love to compete on something like that. And those car dealers would love to be in the state that's still selling ICE engines, selling them out to Connecticut.
You know what's going to happen?
Getting influx from the fucking Connecticut people to come in and buy a car and drive it back.
Yeah.
That's exactly what would happen.
By 2035, we may have 40% hybrids. That's it.
Right.
Well, and I agree. And I think that's what, I don't know that VW Group is putting in, or VW is putting in a shit ton of money into Rivian for straight up just the electric technology. I mean, they are coming out with the ID. They have a couple electric cars. They're coming out with the Buzz. They're coming out with some other stuff.
But doesn't that help them?
Well, I think them
politically, as far as, hey, we own this, so therefore our numbers are greater now.
I think it does,
right?
But
so they're playing the game. They're playing the whole bullshit game.
Well, we know, and we know Audi VW Group does that, right? Like, we know that they play that game, and they have to do that in Europe. Yeah, and they have to. They're figuring out they got to do it here. So it looks good on the surface. They're going to get some big tax write-off, at least in America, for the investment. And on the surface, it fucking looks good.
And
they're still trying. They're still trying to get in the good graces of the EPA over the whole Dieselgate stuff.
They are, well, and I'm actually glad it happened only because, VW's big. They got cash. Out of all the EV manufacturers, I actually like Rivians. I like the styling of them,
I think the styling's sharp.
Yeah, I like the styling.
That one,
I like, the RT1, and I like the SUV version, which is the same thing, just the back on the back. I like the styling. So I want to see them stick around. I don't want to see those guys buckle. So
I don't give a shit. I just want good cars to be produced, and it's still not a vehicle, at least for me, that is a worthwhile investment. And I think that when you have a state like Connecticut that still can't get this passed, I think it just is a telltale sign.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all. I mean, listen, I'm not going to go as far as you go, as far as, you don't give a shit, or I don't give a shit. I don't see myself buying an EV anytime soon.
No,
but
no matter
I like
what the Ioniq 5 looks like, I'm not buying it.
I don't know. That one I'm interested in that. I think that was fun. I think it's fun.
I like that, as a truck guy, I like the Rivian. I like the fact that you have a massive frunk, you have the back end. But what Rivian does really cool is they have this really cool tunnel.
I like the back end too.
Yeah, exactly. I can imagine that about you. So I like they have a tunnel that goes from right behind the seats all the way across. And
that is a cool feature.
Right, yeah, you can put skis back there. You can put freaking. They have
how often are you going skiing, Matt?
Never.
Okay.
Never, ever.
Ski Florida.
No. You're yeah. Not happening. Not happening. But what I do like is I will tailgate. They got a whole, They said they were going to have it. They don't. I'm sure that it'll come out on the back of the aftermarket, but a whole rail system that goes in, you pull it out. It's got freaking grill and all that kind of stuff. It's cool, man. It's cool.
I do like that idea.
Yeah.
All right. And that leads into the article on the Driven talking about how the manufacturers are actually sabotaging the EV transition, which I don't think that's true, but I do think that these guys are very smart. These manufacturers are very smart. I personally agree with this article in the sense that it's the Japanese that are leading the way in the pullback. I think we've seen that. The Koreans being kind of the oddballs out with their cool, that we've been talking about, but Toyota, Honda, Suzuki, Mazda being the I don't know what I call them, loss leaders in EVs, and kind of leading the way in the pullback, and the Europeans, which we know European standards are way more strict, and they're really on those guys. And then the Americans, and the Americans kind of in the middle, I think probably, playing both sides of the fence. But as a huge Toyota fan, I think they're smart people, and I think they are being the quickest to judge what the market is doing, and I think they're smart in pulling back.
Calling a spade, really, what it comes down to, right?
Yeah.
What I find fascinating with Toyota is how they were the leader when it came to the hybrid with that Prius, right? So
still one of the most
efficient
and they went
vehicles all in on that.
Yes, there, right?
Yeah, I don't think you can get an Uber in California without it being a Prius.
Right.
Yeah, right. It's almost 100%. Illegal in California not to Uber without a Prius.
Yeah,
but it's kind of funny that they were the leader on the cutting edge of the whole hybrid systems. But then here we go in the transition. Really, you think they're halfway home, and they're calling bullshit on it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think they're wise in going. This article doesn't talk a lot about it because it's kind of trashing whoever this Daniel Bleakley is really trashing the Japanese and that they're not going all EV. He doesn't really praise them at all for their hybrid models. It's extremely biased. And I looked up, I don't even want to say the website, but I will. It's called Influence Map. He references this quite often. It's a garbage website that's kind of it's garbage. I wouldn't look into it, but I read through it just to see how biased it was. It's off the charts. It's a lobbyist group. So he's basically writing an article about a lobbyist group. But the point is that the Japanese have been, as stated, extremely influential in the hybrid and reading what the market is dictating. And they, in my opinion, are saying that hybrids are the answer. EV is not. Right. And they have been leading that charge. And this article just trashes them for not being EV, and I think that's wrong.
Part of the problem was he said sabotage, which that's not quite the case.
That's a misleading statement.
It's just pushing back. You're pushing back on bullshit that we all know it's not going to happen, right?
Yeah,
I agree. Well, the
there's
EV
some
technology
EV love this evening.
Well, no, the hybrid technology though has merit. You can extend range without using as much, fuel by still getting power. And one of the other articles that Casey threw up.
Oh, by the way, you have infrastructure for that.
Yeah, that's true.
Infrastructure
built-in
infrastructure exists.
Been there forever.
For you to not sit there for an hour hoping you can get this thing charged to get to your next destination. Right. You just throw in the gas and keep going.
Yeah. Well, one of the articles was the rise and the fall of the supercharger. And if you think about it, that's all they're doing now with look at Porsche and the new hybrid 911. They're using an electric motor to give additional power in conjunction with turbos. So the electric motors are just taking the place of what a supercharger would have done, but they're more efficient. You're not using a belt,
Yeah, and that article, I don't know if you read it. It was super cool.
I'm going to. Yeah.
The supercharger is obviously not very favored by the German. Well, I shouldn't say that. By the Porsche community, right? Porsche. When's the last time they've run a supercharger? I don't think really ever. I think they've always been turbocharged. Anyone?
I don't
remember.
There.
Obviously, Mercedes has, and thanks, Kevin.
Kevin's like, I don't fucking know.
No way. BMW has historically, but the history of this and how early the supercharger started was fucking cool. Way back in the 1860s with the Roots brothers. His name was Philander. What a fucking name! That is
Philander. An interesting name.
That's a weird name, but anywho, Philander. And it was for a fucking water wheel. That's how far back it goes. But anywho, the supercharger I think was cool. But I do, Matt, I like the analogy of this is what the EVs are doing, and I 100% agree. It's just a supercharger has been applied to a turbocharger, right? Correct. You're spinning the turbocharger with electric power and getting the low RPM efficiency of a supercharger, and then letting the turbo take over on the high end. I think it's fucking bright idea. I think if more manufacturers are going to come out with this sort of model, I think it'll work. I think it'll work.
That was Technology Talk with Casey.
Casey did his homework. He came ready. He read everything I didn't have time
Casey
to, which is awesome. I love it.
This stuff is good, though. I do
He's
think
an EV sponge.
Yeah, I do think that, and I don't know that I really realized it because I'm not an American car purchaser, right? I'm not a Dodge or GM guy, or Mustang. But you look through the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and they had a massive horsepower war, right? And they were all supercharger based. You got the Cobra, you've got the Hellcat, you've got whatever the other versions are that I'm not really familiar with because they're garbage cars. But the engines were fucking badass, right? They're putting out 700 horsepower engines for $80,000, and they're all based off, what I'll call an ancient fucking 1800 version supercharger sitting on top.
Sure.
Is that wild?
Ancient architecture.
I mean, that's fantastic.
It is. It's amazing.
It's wild and bizarre. And now to have that come in full circle, in my opinion, back to helping instead of, having all this parasitic loss on these engines, you're now helping to pre-spool a turbocharger to actually help efficiency on these engines, say a Porsche 911. That's fucking cool.
Yep. I mean, I actually, back in the day, I really liked, I actually preferred, I love turbochargers, but I really preferred a supercharger over, only because of the fact that if you have a supercharger and you lose a belt, you still have your motor. You can get wherever you want to go. Yeah. You blow a turbo and, you're fucked, so I actually always preferred superchargers over turbos for that reason. But, technology is going to see how the EV motors do. I mean, obviously your motor goes out, you're screwed anyway. So
yeah, I miss this whole fucking transition to this supercharger shit. So wrap this up.
Keep stay with us, buddy. I know it's hard for an old person.
Well, listen, we'll do one more thing here real quick before we get out of here. The sun's going down. Well, yeah. Last one. Massive CDK outage. Hackers took out the network for new car purchases. So it's affecting a shit ton of dealerships. 15,000 car dealerships across North America are struggling to provide service to customers and scrambling to find temporary analog solutions. They've literally gone back to writing riders in carbon triplicate.
Are we supposed to feel sorry for these guys?
No, fuck no, I don't care. I hope someone gets a free car out of it.
Yeah, I hope there's multiple free cars out of it. So, dude, if you're not tied up electronically or on the internet to get these reports, right?
Yeah, you're fucked.
To qualify to buy, and you can do it by paper. Or what are you going to do? Take the credit card and swipe it with the old machine?
They're literally. I can't believe they put this in the
guessing.
Article.
They said they were guessing.
Yeah, they're looking at people to guess their credit score. So
I don't think that's going to go well. i.e. 2007.
Well, even with computers, they fuck up. I mean, me and Stacy bought a freaking Nissan Altima back in like 19.
No, you fucked that
98. No,
you bought an Altima. That's the problem.
Listen, hey, in the late 90s, the Altimas were fucking good, man. They had a freaking 300 horsepower V6. They were actually a good car. Not today. True. I wouldn't buy one today, but we buy the thing.
They are.
Listen, we buy the car. It was the first sedan we had because she had a little Saturn, and I had a truck, and we were having kids, and we needed a four-door car.
Oh, hold on. Stacy had a Saturn?
She did. She had a Saturn SC2.
Well, how did you help her buy that car?
I did not. No.
Okay.
So here's the sad thing.
Car back then.
It was.
That doesn't mean it was the right decision.
Can I make you cry? So Stacy and I met, and we were dating. We were not even engaged yet, right? She wanted to get rid of the car she had, and she went out one day.
You didn't know you weren't engaged yet.
Here's the sad thing, man. Here's the sad thing. You know what she traded in for that Saturn? A fucking badass Honda Prelude. She had a Honda
nice.
Prelude, Targa, freaking badass car, and she traded on that Saturn. And don't get me wrong, the Saturn was cool
when
for
those
the time.
Saturns came out, I mean,
they were cool.
They had a big idea behind them, right? The big idea was with the plastic, and
it looks,
you can repair it so easily.
Listen, it wasn't a bad car. We put like 140,000 miles on that car, so it really wasn't.
They were not good cars. Why are you saying they were not bad cars? They were not good cars.
They were good cars back then. Like,
I'm telling you,
no, they were not. They were awful.
Casey,
they were awful.
We put like 140,000 miles on the car and never had one, other than service, oil changes, had no problems. So I don't want to give GM credit, but especially when GM got rid of Pontiac. But yeah, so it is what it is.
Speaking before
you missed the velour seats, Matt. In the
well, no, but hold it, Kev, real quick. But my point was, we bought the Altima, did all the paperwork. They never. I was chasing them for like 2 months to try to get a payment book. We bought it in October. Finally, almost a year later, like we went a year without making one fucking payment. A year later, they finally realized that they somewhere along the line. So they call me, and so I go down there, and they're like, "Yeah, we need to start." I said, "This car's got fucking 30,000 miles on it. I'm not buying this brand new. What are you talking about?" I said, "You can have this back. I'm not." I said, "This car's a year old, 30,000 miles. You want me to start from scratch? Fuck you." I said, "Give me my old car back." It's been a year, right? So literally, they took like $11,000 off the car, and so we got like 2 years free because they fucked up. So, and that was with computers.
They threw in a refrigerator too.
Yeah, no shit. All right, Kev, go ahead.
Whatever happened to I don't know what podcast it was, but whatever happened to the Amazon that you could buy a car on Amazon?
Oh, can you not do that anymore?
Oh, that's a great. Yeah, that was with Hyundai and
Hyundai,
it was Hyundai,
right?
It was Hyundai, right?
Name a car. Hyundai what?
Hyundai.
It was Hyundai something. Hyundai Sonata.
I know the reason why I bring that up is because there's been a lot of things that Amazon always releases, and a lot of people don't realize that when they do it, it's gone. Like, they were supposed to do the Amazon phone. They were going to do the Amazon. There's a lot
no
of
Hyundai Sonata on here. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things. Yeah. Now they're doing Amazon Pharmacy. There's a lot of things that we forgot about that happened with Amazon as test markets. And I mean, there's a lot. Can you find it?
Yeah. It's a special bar. Like when you just search for it, it doesn't come up, but you can still find it here.
Okay.
Here's the, what's it? How do you say the weird car
Ioniq.
that we like?
Ioniq 5.
I can shop for it now.
Okay.
Anyway,
fair enough. I mean, I literally just saw at the airport. I saw.
We'll be there tomorrow between 8 a.m. and 11.
Yeah, if they could deliver a garage door, that'd be great. Last thing I want to say is Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Rye.
Go get some.
I don't know. This was a club pick. It's actually not that great.
Oh, it's not good, huh?
No, I mean, in my old fashioned that I started with, it's fine. But here by itself,
it's good with Diet Coke. I tell you that much.
Diet Coke, interesting. No,
so it's a good mixer, but not a. Yeah.
The nose is good, but the palate, it's strong. Really, really fucking flat, and which is surprising because it's 134 proof ish.
What?
133.8 or 33.0.
Your mouth should be on fire, no?
You would think, but it doesn't hit like that, which is good for a high proof. But there is very little palate taste. It's aftertaste, it's nose, but very little palate, which is
maybe
weird.
Somebody in your household's watering your shit down.
I just took off the plastic. I mean, that would be impressive if someone could do that. I don't.
Someone at the liquor store got liquored up and re-plasticked it.
Yeah. It's weird. I don't know that I would buy one, or at least not a single barrel. Buy the generic. Mix it with the old fashioned. It was good in the old fashioned.
Buy it on the used market. Case will sell you some.
Yeah, I got 2 drinks worth out of this one.
Free shipping.
Yeah, used market.
There you go.
All right, fellas. We got anything else? I think
that's it.
We're out.
Cool. So for those listening, we're recording the week of the 4th of July. So next week we're not going to do a regular recording. I am going to throw together a.
Wait, hold on. I thought we were.
No,
we were going to record when we're together.
I'm not going to. Well, you can't. You guys can. I won't be there.
I don't fucking want to see you anyway.
I know. Trust me. I'm saddened that I'm not going to be there.
Saddened.
I want to be with you guys. But I have shit going on at work, and I can't take time off. So I will not be there.
Shit.
I'll be there.
Let him wrap it up.
Let him
wrap it up here.
Yeah. So anyway, we're not going to record, but I'm going to throw up a clip show or whatever, and then we'll be good to go. So, guys, thanks for listening. Have our website, www.whiskeyWatchesWheel.com. All the shit's there, and we'll catch y'all later.
Peace.
Good night.
Kevin was so chatty.
Yeah.
I couldn't even talk with you. You were nonstop, like fucking animal today.
Mine still says recording. Did you stop?
Yeah, man.
All right, mine's going up.